This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are Kaitlin Schlotfelt and Jim Miller from the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. Welcome.
Good morning. Wow. Thank you.
Nice to have you both here. We're going to talk about a couple of upcoming exhibits and events at the museum. But before that, I especially want to say, Jim, welcome back. Jim is a familiar name and face around the Cedar Rapids community, particularly the arts community, but you've been away for a long time.
Well, thank you. Yes, we have been in Des Moines and West Des Moines for about 15 years and had a great run there, and things were great, but decided to move back earlier this year. And yes, I'm at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. And while Cedar Rapids and the area's changed a lot, it also has not changed. So yeah, it's great to be back, but lots of great things happening, both our organization and many, many arts and culture organizations.
And as the Vice President of Development, you are in charge of making sure there's enough money to keep the museum going.
That's a really succinct but good way to put it, Dennis. Yes, great projects, great events, but we got to pay for them, and
it makes my
job good.
Easier.
So, well, we got good things going on. So,
by contrast, Kaitlin, you grew up here and never left.
Never left. I grew up in Solon, and my dad was a teacher up here. My mom worked in Iowa City, so that was the best of both worlds. And then went to Iowa for school, and then came up here for work.
And you are in charge of family programming. Am I getting that right?
Yes, I'm the family programs manager.
So tell me
it's
a
a
little
bit
bit
of a
about
mouthful.
that. Yeah.
So pretty much anything that has anything to do with kids that's not in school. Actually, I do a lot of the school tours too. Anything to do with kids and families, that's usually me.
Well, you have a very cool new exhibit all about guitars and the history of the guitar. So tell me about medieval to metal.
we do have a cool exhibit. It is from the National Guitar Museum, which, as they describe themselves, they're a mobile museum. They are not a bricks and mortar museum.
You can't go there.
You cannot go to the Guitar Museum. The museum comes to you. And the gentleman that started this loved guitars, loved music, is based in around Orlando, and their dream was to have a full museum in Orlando. They timed this in 2007 and 2008.
Oh, what a great time to be launching a new arts.
Yeah, not a great
collective.
time to launch many things, not the least of which would be a music museum. So they decided at that point, we're going to take our collection and put it on the road. So they have 3 or 4 different exhibits that tour the country. This is the first time it's been in Iowa. But yes, medieval to metal, it is the history of the guitar, and it is truly a fascinating exhibit. We have 40 different guitars from some are reproductions. They are not 400 years old, and some are very current. It includes an air guitar. It includes a Guitar Hero.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait, an air guitar?
Yes.
And everyone comes to it's a beautiful visual, the way the exhibit is designed, and inevitably they stand and look, do a double take, and then usually laugh. But yes, certainly an air guitar is a part of the development of a guitar.
More people have played the air guitar than the physical guitar.
Yes, we've tried to, at least, yes.
I hadn't seen it until I turned the corner the first time we opened it, and I was like...
Right, it's very fun. And yes, same thing with Guitar Hero. Again, not a guitar, but you think about how many probably younger people, not necessarily, but younger people, played with Guitar Hero.
Oh, and to top it off, it's from the Beatles version of Guitar Hero, so my dad got really excited when I took him through the exhibit. He was like, oh, is that Paul McCartney's? And then we got up to it, and I'm like, there's no way we don't have Paul McCartney's guitar here. And then we got up, and I was like, yep, that's Guitar Hero.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it is. Well, and people have asked also, what's the Czech and Slovak connection to this? Which is a legitimate question, and it's a very strong connection. Anyone that knows music knows the word dobro, D-O-B-R-O, and that word actually means good in Slovak, but it also is the combination of the Dopira brothers, do-bro, so put those two words together, that they're credited with creating the sound cone that goes in a guitar. So again, people that know it, absolutely. But yes, we've been asked, what's that connection? And one of the guitars that I think is the coolest, it actually is one of the first guitars you see in the exhibit, is a Czech-designed guitar that America, Germany, and Czechoslovakia were the largest producers of guitars. So again, it's really interesting to see all these guitars, totally different designs, and you look at how the design affects the sound.
Well, you see, right from the early versions of, Lyres and Ouds.
Yeah,
don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You see those.
The pre-guitar.
Right, pre-guitar, but a stringed instrument. We have a... armadillo shell that has been hollowed out that you think literally they ate the armadillo meat and then carved out the shell and put some sort of string on that and made a stringed instrument. We have another one that was made by a accordion factory using accordion pieces. It's just fascinating. You look at these guitars. We also have, part of it is about 30 photos of celebrities playing their famous guitar, B.B. King and Lucille and many other celebrities. But to say, imagine music without guitars. That's pretty, no matter what music you like, pretty hard to imagine music without a guitar in it.
How long does the exhibit run?
It runs through the end of January. And again, it's been open just under a month. It's had a terrific response. What's been really nice also is we certainly see people that come to most of our exhibits, but we've seen an audience that is not typically coming to our exhibit. A younger audience, an older audience. We've seen lots of school groups, had a great group of international college students come in. You can also play the guitar when you come to this exhibit. So if it's your dream to sit down and play a guitar, whether you're really good or really, really bad, we allow you to do that.
Yep,
and it's been fun to see. There's 3 guitars you can beat up. West Music helped us out with that. But again, you can. It's been fun to hear every now and then somebody that's really good. You're like, oh, you're good at this. You're not just me picking along. You're like, oh, you know what you're doing on this guitar.
Yeah, and then the next person will be using we have like handouts there where it's like, here's some basic chords. So then you can hear someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes, we have cheat sheets.
And then the next person will be using the cheat sheet.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a really good opening. And again, bringing in a different audience, a wider audience for us. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, you can't do an exhibit about music with maybe having some music, in addition to people who come to the exhibit and just get to play along and play the guitars a little bit. So you've got a concert part of this too, yes?
So we have music at the museum. We actually just had the Funk Daddies here a couple weeks ago, and that was really fun. We had barbecue and all that. But upcoming on November 13th at 7 p.m., we have Lucas Summer, and he's actually, he's an award-winning composer and guitarist from the Czech Republic, and he's mostly a classical guitarist. But however, he uses a lot of influences from like jazz, classical, ethnic music, and does a lot of combination. Apparently, a lot of his other concerts have been much more not community, but what's the word I'm thinking? Audience driven. So if the audience isn't really digging something, he might be like, oh, let's try a spin on this. And so it's kind of interesting. He will have his debut at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and then Carnegie Hall later in May 2020. So he's coming to Cedar Rapids, Iowa first, and then going to the Kennedy Center and Carnegie. So we're getting him first.
Well, a lot of activity associated with Medieval to Metal. The concert, that's a ticketed event, I assume?
It is. So members, it's $8, and non-members, it's $12.
And that is on the 13th of November.
13th of November.
And people can come and see all the guitars from the National Guitar Museum through January. What are the museum hours?
We are open every day of the week. We're open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4, and Sundays from noon until 4.
And if you want another free day opportunity, we will actually have all of our exhibits open, and the museum will be completely open and free and open to the public for our 10th anniversary of Old World Christmas Market. So that's the first full weekend of December. So that's December 7th and 8th. And so this is based off of the tradition of the European traditional markets, outside in the main street and all that, except we brought it inside because, it's cold in Iowa. We don't like it being...
People are tougher in Europe, we think. So we moved it all inside for us wimps.
Yep. So it's a kind of a traditional Christmas market with our own Midwest twist, and it's our 10th year, so we're kind of switching some things up. We have a bunch of vendors in our banquet hall, and we have lots of crafts, activities, all sorts of things for families, and really anyone of all ages. We also have our horse and wagon coming back on Saturday, so both of those days will be 10 to 4.
A lot of activities this fall and winter at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. Of course, people can visit the website if they want to find out more about any of these, and that address is, Kaitlin?
It's www.ncsml.org.
Well, thanks so much for being here. Yeah. Sounds like a great exhibit and a lot of fun stuff to do throughout the season.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio Weekdays at 10:20 on KCCK, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or on your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green.